Hi, it's 10:10. So this is like the fourth time I've done this video because it just wasn't coming out right. So I'm trying to be as sensitive as possible because a lot of terrible things are happening in Russia and the Ukraine. So I think that we can all agree that there has to be a better way of doing things aside from war. But in a perfect world, fortunately, we don't live in one of those. So I was looking at the Great Seal of the Ukraine. And you know me, I start going down these little rabbit holes. And I was looking at this, and they call it a trident. It's a very cool coat of arms. So I was a little bit curious. I started clicking on some things. So right where you see blazon, I clicked on azur, which I know in Spanish that's azul in blue. So I was like, well, let's click on that and see. I didn't really think anything of it. So once I clicked on that, just kind of gave me a little bit of a background on what azul or azur, I hope I'm saying that correctly. It's some type of heterality. I hope I'm saying that right. It is the tincture with blue color. So, you know, you can look this up and see what it says. But once I got towards the bottom, and you all already know because you're looking at it like, oh my God, many sources give different meanings, but azur is often said to represent the following: of jewels, the sapphire, which is a type of rare stone, one of my favorites, actually. It's very beautiful. Of heavenly bodies, Jupiter. And most of you are aware, and if you're not, the first Jupiter to ever be president in the Ukraine is currently in power. And if you haven't watched my other videos about my theory, the Jupiters are a particular people group who came from nowhere, who had no known origins, and they come from Jupiter, from space. And they came here to this planet probably because their planet was destroyed or something happened, and they could possibly and potentially work with the Anunnaki, because Jupiter is a god who you normally see with an eagle or a falcon. So we'll keep that in our thoughts. And I'm going to take you to the next picture. So these are the different medallions or seals and manuscripts over the course of this period of time when it comes to the coat of arms. So the seal is of Sladisvav the Brave, if I'm saying that right. And what I found interesting is that the coin of Vladimir the Great, that's when you can really start seeing the shape of this particular war instrument, some type of war technology or spaceship. Could be part of the, what am I thinking of? The Ark of the Covenant, some type of technology that is used during war, or a spaceship. What I find particularly interesting now is that this particular seal, we can also tie it to the president of Russia because his first name is Vladimir. So now we're looking at the first Jupiter president or leader, ruler of the Ukraine. And now the Ukraine used to be a part of Russia, and it was separated through war and what have you. So what I'm asking you to do is to look at this seal or symbol and say, do I see a spaceship coming down from the sky? Do I see some type of technology that is used for war or something along those lines? I haven't quite figured it all out yet, but in any essence, I can tie the Jupiters back to the Ukraine twice, and I can tie Russia's president to the Ukraine via the seal that goes back to the Jupiters. So this is interesting to me too, because they're saying there's a possibility, they're not saying it is, that the Gar Falcon is a prototype of the Ukraine's Trident. Now, I have never, and maybe I'm wrong, there's a lot of seals out there, there's a lot of, different coats of arms. The dimensions of a coat of arms, what do you need the dimensions for? Why is that important? It's a blueprint either for this technology, this weapon of technology, or for this spaceship. Something. This is not normal. And if it is normal, let me know. If you see others like this, maybe it's worth looking into. But the whole point of this video really is for me to show you the different correlations between the Jupiters, this Trident, the Ukraine, and how it all ties in. And I really hope that I know some people want World War III. I don't personally. But this battle is about maybe humans versus extraterrestrials, or a different species of extraterrestrials with humans versus extraterrestrials. Okay, what is happening is we're having a galactic battle right here on our planet. Now we have Space Force. I don't understand why we're not battling. They're not battling up in space, but whatever. We'll see what happens, right? But I do want to have a moment of silence for those who are over there in those countries and are being affected by the choices, and just, it leaves me at a loss. I sometimes wonder if war would be as bad if certain extraterrestrials never came here. I know people will fight because it's in us, but I don't think we would fight to this extent. I hope that makes sense. And if you are a human, you know exactly what I'm talking about. You understand that you need to protect your home and your family, and you'll do what it takes, but you don't want to purposefully go out and look for it. Now, some of you do, but for the most part, I think, well, I don't have any evidence of that, so I won't say it. But I just want to take a moment. If you pray, then pray. If you have thoughts and good wishes, and you can take a moment out of your day to think about the people whose lives have been lost, that would be wonderful. And again, I want to thank those of you that do listen to this channel. I know that a lot of the stuff I talk about is a little bit out there, but I know eventually, once I gather enough evidence, you're going to see that. And if you have already, I really appreciate that. You could let me know if you see it already too. Maybe it's all just coincidence that the Jupiters are tied to everything. The planet Jupiter. Call it Jupiter, and you're like, oh, it's back to the planet. That's nice. But it's bigger than that. The Jupiters are trying to take our planet from us. And they do deserve to live just as much as we do. I'm not saying they don't. But anyway, I'll take a few moments of silence here at the end of the video. And thanks again, everyone.